They don't know. I miss up watching the man that don't stuff and hear the voice, and this is Gather King 9 representing for DJ Shaka Double. Don't know, so take it to the world, man. They don't know, so glory to words and glory to song and glory to power. Glory to the everlasting life of iration. I miss kick it. A God bless time, you know. In the morning, na 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 na. Give thanks for life. Shaka Double. Enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks for life. Remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks for life. DJ Shaka Double. Enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks for life. Shaka Double. Remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Shaka Double playing, and the children are going to school, and the parents are going to work, yeah. Oh, what a beautiful morning, to feel the breeze is blowing, the blue saki and the kiskadi, the 6 o'clock bees, I heard them singing out, cause life is a greatest gift, Shaka Double bring to mankind. Some people say life hard, Shaka Double tell them say life higher. Yeah, give thanks and praise for the mighty rising. Don't give up, my brother. Don't give in, my sisters. Give thanks and praise every day. Shaka Double, give thanks for life. Cause some people no live to see this day. Give thanks for life. DJ Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks for life. Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful life I came and I've reached. Give thanks and praise for Shaka Double, jungle big tune. Yeah. The children, they are the future. Shaka Double, don't discriminate them. More life for the youths them. Shaka Double, give thanks and praise for the babe and the suckling, yeah. Just give life, so live life. Not take life, let's cherish life. Let's unite in at this time. Shaka Double, upon the fire. Just give life, so live life. Not take life, let's cherish life. Let's unite in at this time. When you see Shaka Double, tell them, say, give thanks to life. Enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life. Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful morning. The sun is shining, and the children are going to school, and the parents are going to work, yeah. Oh, what a beautiful morning to hear Shaka Double playing, the blue saki and the kiskadi, the 6 o'clock bees, I heard them singing out. Give thanks to life, Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life, DJ Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life, Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Can you hear the voice?
Blessed sunrise, family. Blessed sunrise, you know what I mean? But in the meantime, I'm still gonna play that song. Continue to share and stuff on my social media. Of course, these people still got me blocked on Facebook, doing the usual nonsense and police trafficking and censorship of the people. But it is what it is. All right, so I'm gonna go back with that, my introduction song, and then we're gonna continue a little bit. Blessed love, blessed sunrise.
They don't know. I miss up watching the man that don't stuff and hear the voice, and this is Gather King 9 representing for DJ Shaka Double. Don't know, so take it to the world, man. They don't know, so glory to words and glory to song and glory to power. Glory to the everlasting life of iration. I miss kick it. A God bless time, you know. In the morning, na 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 na. Give thanks for life. Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks for life. Remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks for life. DJ Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks for life. Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. what a beautiful morning. Shaka double playing, and the children are going to school, and the parents are going to work, yeah. Oh, what a beautiful morning, to feel the breezes blowing, the blue saki and the kiskadi, the 6 o'clock bees, I heard they singing out, cause life is a greatest gift, Shaka double bring to mankind. Some people still life hard, Shaka double tell them so life while, yeah. Give thanks and praise for the mighty rising. Don't give up, my brother. Don't give in, my sisters. Give thanks and praise every day. Shaka double, give thanks to life. Cause some people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life. Shaka double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka double, remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful life I came and I've reached. Give thanks and praise for Shaka double, jungle big tune. Yeah. The children, they are the future. Shaka double, don't discriminate them. More life for the youth them. Shaka double, give thanks and praise for the babe and the suckling, yeah. Just give life, so live life. Not take life, let's cherish life. Let's unite in at this time. Shaka double, upon the fire. Just give life, so live life. Not take life, let's cherish life. Let's unite in at this time when you see Shaka double. Tell them say, give thanks to life. Cause enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life. Shaka double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka double, remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful morning. The sun is shining, and the children are going to school, and the parents are going to work, yeah. Oh, what a beautiful morning to hear Shaka double playing, the blue saki and the kiskadi, the 6 o'clock bees, I heard they singing out. Give thanks to life, Shaka double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life, DJ Shaka double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life, Shaka double, enough people no live to see this day. I hear the voice.
Blessed Sunrise family, blessed sunrise, and welcome back to Reasoning Uncensored. This is Delroy LaRoc, aka Shaka double. You know what I'm saying? So this morning, I see I got a little post in there, my little heading G unit, right? And for those who are familiar, that's a brand that belongs to, I don't like to say a rapper because when people like to, sidestep who you are, they're just like to say a musician or something. But the mogul, the entrepreneur, the philanthropist, 50 cents. Right, G Unit, that's who they belong to. And I want to carry on some reason this morning because, a lot of things been in the news and so forth. And I just, me, I got a different narrative. And that's part of the reason why I've extended from musical reasoning to reason uncensored, you know what I mean? Because there's a need for a different kind of narrative and so forth. But on the lighter side of things, before I even get into that, I noticed that there was a cricket that took place, right, recently. So, I see it on the news and so forth. And, it's amazing. Everybody knows that, okay, the East Indian population is in far as, Pakistan and these places and so forth, India and so forth, right? That they partake in cricket. But there's, but West Indian is such a big thing in the Caribbean, right? But it's amazing, once again, right? something that we celebrate, that we love. But if you're not in control of it, if you're not able to do the appropriate business that is required in these times to market yourself, because there's no way that the Caribbean community should not, after all these years. I remember growing up, you know what I'm saying, and hearing about Clive Light and them kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Funk style going on, cause you understand, blessed sunrise. But growing up hearing about all these cricketers, and I remember my uncle them listening to the radio, cricket and stuff, and the excitement of it. And cricket is a big thing within the Caribbean, but yet still, even football, to the point that you couldn't even control the narrative that they call it soccer. Because that's how they want to introduce it, because they already say they got something in football. So they just dash your whole terminology and part of a culture. Because now, even when you're talking to people from the Caribbean or somewhere and you say football, if you don't specify and say soccer, right, then it creates a confusion, right? So I don't know why they just didn't say like football or something like that, right? Or Caribbean football. You can still keep it as football, where the people them know. But you go and take it all the way out to soccer, soccer and stuff, right? But once again, right? So to me, all of that is in still in alignment with what 50 Cent had to see and his movement and so forth, right? Controlling our own narrative. But I'm going to get some more into that. What I want to do first is play one or two little clip of 50 Cents and how this thing kind of get into it. I'm gonna be I didn't download a whole lot of stuff today because I think that I'm gonna be going kind of like back and forth in between some of these clips and kind of like dissecting the narrative, right? One of these things, I don't know, this is no concern of the people that's tuning in just to listen, but I was on the radio and now I'm independently broadcasting from my own location. And so taking those things, once again, that same conversation now, being responsible for your destiny, taking control of certain things. So then you start to figure out certain things that you would not find out if you're in the passenger seat. For example, is a perfect example, right? Passenger seat. If you're in the passenger seat and you're behind sitting in the car, you cannot have the experience of the driver. You will never develop the skills, the understanding and navigation of the road and of the journey and of the trip if you don't take the steering wheel yourself and practice and learn and develop your own skills with that. So with moving and coming on and taking control, that's something I've even noticed of. And I don't know if anybody ever complained or said anything, but these different platforms are being created to stream and so forth. You understand? So I'm showing it out there because I don't have the connections and all of that right now. But these apps need some upgrading, right? Because, for example, in this stream, I think, if somebody knows, you could give me a tip, because I Google it and I see it, where you could, play the video and pause it and certain things. So forgive me if you got to play a video from a certain time and it starts back from the top versus me being able to take it to a specific point. But without any further ado, let's go.
This is really exciting for me to be here. I got a chance to meet with both sides today, and it feels really good. Like, they don't agree. They don't agree on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So to get them to agree on seeing me was an accomplishment in itself. And I'm excited about.
All right, so that's how I'm going to do my pause. But see what I said. When I started again, it's going to go from the top. But you see how he just, even in that introduction, he's clearly saying they don't even agree. These political parties, they're not even agreeing. But I'm going to press play and then I'm going to come back again and continue, because I'm touching on a whole lot of stuff pertaining to this nonsense.
This is really exciting for me to be here. I got a chance to meet with both sides today, and it feels really good. Like, they don't agree. They don't agree on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So to get them to agree on seeing me was an accomplishment in itself. And I'm excited about that they both got a chance, took time out of what they're doing, because they're voting. Yeah. Right? They took time out to speak to me, both sides, and I feel really good about it. I think the things that we got going on here, the upsides is we have great possibilities for good things going on for us. You know what I mean? I don't want to damper things or put a bad tint or negative energy around things when I feel like it's completely positive, right? But my experience here has been great. And I wrote, it was a whole, what's the name here written that I'm not going to say.
Economic opportunity.
Yeah, as far as today, I went to talk to them about economic opportunities for everybody, and it's really exciting. The response I got makes me feel like that there's bright things ahead of us.
All right. So that's one part of the 50 Cent thing. There's another little clip I want to play. All right, before I get into my conversation and reasoning ahead.
The Senate has failed now to advance a bill to protect access to contraception, and Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced they will vote on IVF protections next week in the Senate. But on Capitol Hill today, it was a rapper who got a lot of attention. CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian joins us. Nicole, you got a chance to catch up with 50 Cent. What did 50 have to say?
Well, 50 or 50, depending on how you refer to him. I mean, look, he was up here for a specific reason. He was accompanied by civil rights attorney Ben Crump, and he really wanted to advocate for generational wealth when it comes to African Americans in particular. He has a number of companies, including one that involves spirits, and so he wants to see an increase in minority representation. You know, he felt that he didn't get a fair shake when he first started his business, and wants to expand opportunities again for people of color. So that was the nature of his visit. But in that context, I did ask him about the election, because the Biden administration has done a lot of work in this space. But at the same time, 50 Cent has made comments in the past, including back in 2020, where he suggested that people vote for then President Trump, although he later walked those comments back. So I asked him what he's thinking about the upcoming election. Take a listen. I mean, we're heading into another election, so have you made a decision about who you're going to support?
I'm not sure how to answer that question, to be honest with you.
Have you made a decision?
I haven't.
What do you see as the significance of African American men in this election for both of you?
I see them identifying with Trump.
Why do you say that?
Because they got RICO charges.
And I don't know if he was referencing the case down in Georgia, where we, of course, know that former President Trump has been charged and is facing RICO charges in that state. But that aside, you know, what is significant about his comments is that, again, back in 2020, his then support briefly of former President Trump got a lot of attention. And being a major figure like that, you know, that can be influential when it comes to the African American vote. And so similarly, we know both campaigns are really trying to advocate for the black vote. We have seen the president's support slip among African American voters. The issue even garnering a lot of attention here on Capitol Hill in a separate issue with a leader, Hakeem Jeffries, and Byron Donalds, kind of now in an internal beef, because Byron Donalds made some comments at a campaign event just yesterday suggesting that African Americans were better under Jim Crow, to which Hakeem Jeffries replied on the House floor today that is an outlandish statement and ignorant. So that being said, you know, this is all about both sides really trying to advocate and make their case to African American voters. But as you can see, there are a number of different perspectives around this, not only from lawmakers, but also from celebrities as well.
Quite a time to be at Capitol Hill.
All right. So, you know, like I said, I'm chopping away at it, putting out the information, and then I'm gonna also play some of the counter stuff that's going on that I feel that I need to address in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. You know, this is Reasoning Uncensored, man. So, you know, when you come on this, you got to prepare to get into some mental acrobatics and fitness and some spiritual and some soul acrobatics and all those dynamics. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you were very surprised when you heard for the first time 50 Cent is running for president. I'd like to thank you all for tuning into these debates. Some really important issues to address. And I'd love to answer your questions and hear your suggestions. Listen to this shit. Now, I propose. I'm not just another politician politicking, it's your boy. 50. Here we go.
Curtis 50 Cent Jackson was on Capitol Hill today advocating for black entrepreneurs.
Okay, so you can't find 50 Cent in the club today, but we did find him in the Capitol. No, he's not Poppin' Bub, but he is advocating for more representation in the liquor industry, particularly among black Americans. Here he is along civil rights attorney Ben Crump and Congressman Troy Carter. 50 Cent owns a very successful spirits brand, and he wants to use his platform to help black entrepreneurs to bridge the wealth gap. I saw him walking around, shaking hands, taking pictures with lawmakers, staff, and members of the press who were very excited, myself included.
All right. So, let me play the other side, some of what, and then I'm going to balance it, bring it in. All right. So this is Hot 97 in New York City. Rosenberg, Ebro. I'm going to play a little clip from what they had to say about 50 Cent's visit.
I see people really engaged like they think 50 Cent cares about one side or the other. Whether he cares about the GOP or he cares about Democrats. 50 Cent cares about who's going to help him make some money.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the way that the story was reported yesterday on this show, because that's the way it's being laid out, is he's going to help black business owners get involved in the alcohol game. And I agreed with that, except the main business owner that I know he's thinking about is named Curtis Jackson.
Well,
it's 50, guys.
What?
First of all, I'm going to play it back. That's how I stop it real quick. Just watch, for me, the introduction of how they feel about that trip. Let's go.
I see people really engaged like they think 50 Cent cares about one side or the other. Whether he cares about the GOP or he cares about Democrats. 50 Cent cares about who's going to help him make some money.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the way that the story was reported yesterday on this show, because that's the way it's being laid out, is he's going to help black business owners get involved in the alcohol game. And I agreed with that, except the main business owner that I know he's thinking about is named Curtis Jackson.
Well,
it's 50,
then,
guys.
Well, and then, you know, I didn't know this, but, you know, the current Speaker of the House is also from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh.
Who's that super, I forget his name, the super religious.
Mike Johnson?
Mike Johnson is from Shreveport, Louisiana. Guess what else is happening in Shreveport, Louisiana? 50 Cent's whole movie TV studio.
Oh, boy.
And word on the streets is 50's bought up a lot of real estate in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So buying up real estate in Shreveport, Louisiana is like, it's like going to the grocery store. You can just do it.
Well, guess what? But I mean,
it's going to benefit him because it's for to buy some huge studios.
It's going to benefit Shreveport, Louisiana with jobs.
Yeah, jobs.
And it's going to benefit Shreveport, Louisiana with tourism. And
maybe I'm getting a few steps ahead here.
Well, no, it will.
But jobs, yes, for sure.
Wait, did he say that he's turning the property he's buying into a huge operational Tyler Perry-like studio?
Yeah, that was announced. G Unit Studio. Is it? I don't know. I think it's called G Unit Studios.
Oh God. Okay. So he's doing it specifically.
No, he bought a huge plot of like Tyler, like you're saying, like Tyler Perry S. Yeah, G Unit TV and Film Studio. So that's definitely already been announced.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a whole thing, and he's going to be doing a lot. But anyway, I bring all of that up to say, if you're out here angry or happy that you saw 50 taking pictures with somebody that you like in the house or don't like, you getting this button.
Congratulations.
Because your man
played yourself.
Is loyal to that bank account.
That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah, like it's not even. There's not even no plot twist there.
50 doesn't really have moral issues that he stands on. That's not a thing. The main 50 issue is 50. Whether he's coming down, even when he's coming down on someone he doesn't like, he's coming down on it because of 50. It's because of a relationship with 50. If that's part of 50's charm.
Or you haven't been loyal to
50. I mean, y'all, have you guys followed the story? This has been going on for 20 years now. You never get me. When people were posting the picture of him and Lauren Boebert and being like, "Oh my God," I'm like, you didn't think he'd think it was funny?
But he also
hang out with the chick who was giving out handies in the theater,
right? And then talk about it in the comments. But he also took a picture with Nancy Pelosi, Mike Johnson. I'm sure others that I didn't see, but yeah, whatever. He was moving around. They was happy to see him. You know what I mean? So there you have it. Laura, what you got today?
So here's an update, guys.
All right. So let me take you back from the square root of where I was going with 50 Cent. I first started playing the clips when he went to DC. In his introduction, while he was promoting his video, you know what I'm saying? Let me do the quick press, couple seconds. All right. When he was doing that, listen to the song real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you were very surprised when you heard for the first time 50 Cent is running for president. I'd like to thank you all for tuning into these debates. Some really important issues to address. And I'd love to answer your questions and hear your suggestions. Listen to this shit I propose.
All right, we have some real important issues to address running for president. After that, he came after that in the song. He said, "It's your boy. I'm not your regular politician," and all that. All right. When he was on the podium at the White House, he said in the interview, he said, it's a positive. He felt positive. That's his word. Positive about coming here. All right. And then he went as far as to say, these people don't even agree. Now that part, I'm going to come to that part in the end, because it's very important to understand the psychology for me from how European politics and how that stuff goes and what it introduced and how we just jumped in it, floating it with no kind of analytical nothing. Like I said, we be on the preacher effect. It said it was about economic opportunity. That's what he says, economic opportunity. Generational wealth. Then they said it's about the spirits and alcohol. That's what the news people were saying, because they felt he didn't get a fair shake in the business. And remember, there's the smoky, shady things going on behind the scene with Puffy. I'm got to bring it back into perspective, where the most interesting perspective. Now, whatever he did in his actions, that's what is what. I am more concerned, like when kids come to you and or you hear somebody one of them crying or something, and then you come and say, "What happened?" And he said, "Oh, he hit me because this and that." And then, but what they didn't say, they said, "Well, why you hit the you know what I'm saying, this person," or whatever the case might be, and this and that. And then then you hear the story now about what this person did, and then you're like, "Oh, so the reason why you got hit is because of such and such." So that is the narrative that I'm concerned about, because they want to make it seem that it should be irrelevant for you to be concerned with what's the reason for the shakedown. All you need to know is that this person ain't a good person and they did this, they did that. I find it dandy, but what's the reason for the shakedown? Because all of us, and especially when you come in at one of mine's, an African descendant that's prominent within certain stuff, no, I need to filter that very carefully. I don't care what y'all saying. I don't care what is the so-called crime or whatever's going on. It's going to be filtered. And even when y'all made y'all decisions and all that kind of stuff about certain stuff, and a lot of people that's been in jail, and I'm trying to tell y'all, if y'all had your own systems and government and all that, they wouldn't have been in jail neither. You'd have been dealing with that situation very differently, because you would have been dealing with them like it's one of your own family members. Right? But let's move. So with the Puffy thing, You don't hear the narrative about him having a fallout with LaRoc. Obviously about economics. I heard it's something like he wanted more money for the work he's putting in, and they was like, nah, whatever, for the second time or whatever. And so then, you know, like Kanye, Nick Cannon, so many of us, I mean, the Kyrie, I don't care what kind of angle you put it in. They are the Caucasian world in this time is saying, listen, you see that civil rights thing with the black this and the screaming, oh, you did something to me because I'm black, because I'm an African descendant, I'm African American, and they're like, yo, we ain't buying it, we ain't playing none of that no more. And that's what they showed you with the Nick Cannon and stuff like that. So when Puffy tried to pull that card, because that's what he did with LaRoc. See, that story didn't even get to sell. Where they said, oh, LaRoc is racist. And this and that. Like, where's that story? Where's all the press on that? Because that's the counter reaction. Because what happens when you say something like that from someone as Puffy's standards, and if people take it seriously and decide to say, oh man, we've been drinking this, and don't get it twisted. We ain't drinking no LaRoc because Caucasians them was like, this is they drink and we going to bars. There might be some little few people that drink have been in certain places. Oh, this thing been around. All right, good. You're an alcohol connoisseur and you know this and that, you know, but you're not speaking for the norm of us. That the market that he came in and promoted it to. And it even reached some other ethnic groups too that didn't know about it. But I'm saying, we are the children of the sun. So when we get on something that gives that sunlight, and it just glares and beams like that. You understand me? They be doing things for years and years, wearing pants, wearing Levi's, all kind of stuff, wearing it corny. Soon we start wearing it, doing this. Oh, what? Levi, sales going up. You put that sunlight on it. Children of the sun. Never forget it. All right? So, Puffy now pulled that card. Them folks say, listen, what happens when you do that is that you trying to crumble my brand. Because when you crumble my brand, now I stand to lose billions of dollars. You're talking about my family. You're talking about multiple families attached to this. On top of that, I went into the aspect of what you call organized crime, the mob, right? Coming from the Prohibition period. Since they established themselves, because from the Prohibition it went to legal. Don't let us get it confused. All the Rockefellers, whoever, yeah, I'm regurgitating some of this information because there's a need to, that have set themselves up in very prominent positions and have dictated the narrative and how life is and things that we even do technology-wise, socially, government-wise, policy-wise, because they became powerful as in the anti-probation period and even bigger after the probation period. And then there's also the narrative because they tell it in their movies. Tom Hanks did one of them big movies. I can't even remember what the name was when he was trying to play this cop, trying to infiltrate this and that was going on. Because they had said, listen, we have to devise a plan. Unlike the African descendant, they ain't got that part right yet. Critical analysis, don't matter what it is, take it just like that. Like you're buying, naked. You know what I'm saying? Clear analysis. And then look at the picture. They moved their people over into the alcohol business. I mean, into the police force. They moved their peoples into the FBI. That's how invested they were in their illegal activities. They have movies that documented countless. So if that was since then, what is the level that they have grown to now today? Especially in places like New York. It depends on who spearheads something. Because people might say, hey, and then, you know, they're organized police across, they're going to work with each other. But it only takes one branch to erect something and connect it and say, hey, we need your cooperation. So coming especially from the history of New York, knowing how the mob is situated themselves, all the countless movies, Chicago, these places, right? Is it coincidental? Is there more to the story? Like when I said the child who's screaming and they come, oh, they hit me. But then you found out what's really happening behind the scenes before. So is that a coincidence? The people who have now grown and expanded their power into the, and it's no wonder that specifically that they really be coming after us, especially the federal government and them. What is the history with the mob and also what you call, they call us black gangsters and this and that, but we were into protection of our peoples, the black people's movement. What happened to our movements when a lot, if you go into those stories, there was a lot of confrontation. Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights. That's one of my favorite movies. Because what it displayed was the Africans said, listen, let us take time to analyze, be abstract and strategize, work on a plan, have a time frame, execute. That's why I love it. But it shows about the conflict since then. So the Italians, the Irish, and all that, as much as they, and even the Judaics, the ones that was sponsoring Martin Luther King and that whole civil rights movement, heavily sponsored. Mainly, what money black folks had to be doing all the stuff they was doing after they was done already giving up the stuff they owned. Their bus lines and this, to that, and all kinds of stuff. And just taking mass humiliation and embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? Where was it? So what's the analysis behind? Woo, God bless myself there. Bless myself again. You understand? So now, smoke screens. Is that not a possibility? How have they grown to strategize? Listen, boy, you're trying to create what they call defamation of character, defamation of our business using this black card. I'm going to show you what defamation of character is. So moving forward, 50 Cent now, that's an empty lane. And not only was it an empty lane, he was also avidly in that industry, because on almost every street corner and so forth, especially when I'm talking coming from this New York City diaspora angle, and also from the Caribbean, the rum shop level and all them kind of thing, right? How come that's the same? Oh, how come they have rum shops and fast food is the most, liquor stores and fast food is the most? So they got this stuff all in our communities and they eating off of us because of a habit and a tradition, the culture and stuff that we have right now. Obviously, because of our stressful disposition more than certain things, because we're not just drinking overly because of Jubilee, right? That's part of it. Why should you not partake in that? And why should you not try to seek the best way of establishing yourself in that? But once again, this is why when I said 50 cents, I said I don't want to say no rapper, because those are code words and that's what they use to disrespect. Like a man said, the dancehall artist, whoever it might be. Let me say dancehall artist Shaggy. But Shaggy's a businessman. Shaggy got multiple businesses and doing certain other things. So if somebody want to disrespect him, the dancehall artist Shaggy, instead of being that entrepreneur, that businessman, that philanthropist, and that's what it is with 50 cents. All right, you know what? I gotta blow my nose, and so I'm gonna run a commercial so I can blow my nose, and then we're gonna come right back. Blessed love, family. Give thanks to everybody tuning in. All right, welcome back, welcome back. So now, taking back where I was at. This is why I don't address 50 Cent as no rapper, but an entrepreneur, philanthropist, businessman, etc., etc. One of the things that they also that he was saying is that, you know, oh, he bought property in Louisiana, and so Louisiana has a fairly large African American, African descendant population, fairly good, reasonable size. It's the South, and so even the guy Rosenberg, he goes, "Oh, that's like buying candy in a grocery store," belittling even Louisiana and their economical disposition. Remember, I say it's a lot of African Americans, a lot of African descendants down there. So first of all, his disrespect. I don't really like that Rosenberg cat. No way. For real. Like certain people, I don't even feel like they have no need to even be talking in our business. I don't even care what you're getting into about you getting into this culture. You're getting like, you know what I'm saying? We the only people to really be allowing certain things on a certain kind of level. You know what I'm saying? Them type of people you shouldn't even be talking about 50 Cent. You understand what I'm saying? Coming from this is our thing. I don't care if you're on radio. If you want to think you want to get personal and you in urban station and all this, right? So he goes, so buying candy. So fair enough. Now, when you think about that, for those that know Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, you know that he's gonna think and move strategically. Like they said, oh, he's all about money. So you're obviously gonna look for prospects. You're gonna investigate what you're supposed to do, like what Harlem Nights, that movie, speaks about. You plan ahead, you examine things, you analyze. So obviously he probably analyzed other demographics in Louisiana, was selected and chosen. Obviously, for some of that same reasons that Rosenberg, I'm sure that's like buying property is like buying candy because what? It's so cheap. I guess is what he's saying. Like, what's the prospects of that? And so now Ebro is like, oh, and Ebro's another little halfway one. And so he goes, no, he's bought property in, the G Unit. That's why I got G Unit down there, right? And he's setting up like a movie company and all this, right? Business. So remember they like say, oh, he's just going to DC because he's, just for himself, alcohol and this and that, spirits. But yet still there are multiple businesses involved here, right? So now he goes, so now Rosen, Ebro said he's gonna, this is the type of thing to help create jobs and stuff like that. Right away, he's like, oh, don't get beside yourself. The typical Caucasian, he don't even know. You see, for me, I'd be too real that some of them, I don't care how they think they will listen to me. Get off the line. They got to move from out the way when they listen to me. I don't play around with. That's why him and Nicki Minaj got into that thing, because he really don't know how to respect the culture. But once again, you got to know who controls the networks and the this and the that and all of this. And this is why it's a cool thing for him to be there in that position. You know what I'm saying? With the Spanish shorty, right? That's the dynamics of, you got to understand why things are composed how they are. It's not by accident. Everything is under a magnifying glass when it comes to investments of money and putting us. So that's why I don't even know why they don't understand how certain things goes or works. So let's go into this. So he's like, nah. After he makes a statement, oh, don't let's get beside ourselves. He's gonna help create jobs and stuff in Louisiana. What? Oh, my 57. So then Ebro's like, no, he's building movie studios and stuff like that. So he goes, oh, like Tyler Perry? Oh, like Tyler Perry. So let me take that as something. Let's even go on that real quick. How did Tyler Perry get in his position to get that property, even doing certain things he did? Yeah, he got the money and all that. But believe you me, it probably wouldn't have happened in another president's administration. It would have been harder. Obama helped to, that's how you play politics. Jay-Z, Tidal, and a couple other things. the NFL and all certain little things under Obama. This is why, because of the way, and the same thing like in Guyana, when there's politics, that, you know, people are into this divisive things about sides. Because it's like, and you know, you see Robert De Niro when Trump was convicted and he's by the court. Because he's invested in the so-called Democratic Party deep. He's the first man to open a bank in Tribeca. I don't even know if anybody else did since he did it a couple of years ago. That's a big deal. A bank in Tribeca? What? For those who don't know games, I mean, because you're talking about you playing with money. And you did that under Obama and them playing with the Democrats and Hillary and them. That's, you know what I mean? So y'all do it. So 50 Cent is not supposed to observe and say, Louisiana, I can purchase property, boom, boom. And then yet still, I'm sure, because I had seen a little clip with him and one of those mirrors. You know, I got to find that clip when they were showing some of the prospects, and I should have pulled up that clip. But it's all right. We got tomorrow of what he was going to do in Louisiana. And I believe he was meeting with the mayor or somebody and talking about some of the job opportunities. If you're doing stuff like that, of course, people are going to get hired. Right? So would you not be creating jobs? And then this is the perspective. For all those who really like, you know what I'm saying? This is why, you know, like today I'm talking in this language in hip hop. Because it's Shaka double. You understand? I could do it any which way. Right? But you nut. Who forgot that? If you came from a certain time and era, that young man came with a plan already to the table. Had the whole culture. Saying it, came out with sneakers behind it, came out with a record label behind it, did certain things. But who ever knew that even at that point, the longevity, if he did not sustain himself, did not conduct himself as not just a rapper, was an entrepreneur, a businessman, a philanthropist, he would not even be in the position for people to talk about. They want to take the time out for him to come to DC, where they're going to give him the opportunity. Because like he said, I feel positive this is a good thing that they even took the time out to see me, because they don't even talk. They don't even get along. So it's like just in 50 Cent's being in the position where he's at, coming from where he's coming from. There shouldn't even be no approach with no laughter and no stuff like that, especially on a radio station that's talking about rap and hip hop. Y'all should be saying initiative to the young black Afrocentric males, be pumping in them some positivity. I'm telling you, Ebro, I'm trying to tell you. And you know what I'm saying? I don't be into, listen, man, I was about to say some things. You understand me? Right? But this is what's going on. Because your little mainstream stuff is just like anything else. They're just there to talk. Just trend, get clicks, get likes, get controversial. Rosenberg completely disconnected. He can't talk about nothing. I don't even know why he's in that position to do it. The Jumper and all these guys who do all these kind of, listen to me, man. I'm not with it. You understand what I'm talking about? And then when it comes down to reggae music and certain things, the same thing. We don't bother from England and this way, and who from France and who from this and like. Listen, I would still go to your radio station, maybe. Y'all play certain music, you want interview. But you see, maybe when it comes to like certain, like you gotta probably talk about music or something. Because you ain't gonna be able to talk to me about my culture and certain stuff. You're gonna have to stay in your goddamn lane. You see what I'm talking about? I'm a dead serious Pan-Africanist. You see my shot? Right? And I'm not the foolish kind. So let me do this right here. This is another little foolish one. We should be promoting a 50 Cent. And this is why even on the fact sheet, people be like, and let me drop this quick story because I was doing this even before. I have a thing with my 9-year-old where I'm like, listen, in my presence, because it's something, because I know he's trying to cuss on the low. So I'm like, listen, in my presence, you can cuss around me, but we got rules to this. You cannot cuss in school. You cannot be cussing like outside playing with your friends in You know what I'm saying? Well, if y'all don't get caught, that's on your own time. But what I'm saying, not to get caught. But around me, you can. And the reason for it, I'm like, listen, when you get older, I'm not with the contradiction and the foolery. Because what is this thing that you can't curse? Oh, you can't curse now, but you can curse later. And all of these words that they're saying are supposed to be curse words. When you examine it and what they mean to life, the naturalness of them, it's like, what is that conversation anyway? So I was always like that with dealing with him. So he's a good chess player. And so his school that he goes to had a chess tournament, and he was in the tournament and stuff. So now he's next to these two Judaic kids, and they're in like the little cafeteria on a little waiting time. You know how the chess thing is going on. And so they're like playing and stuff. And so one of the little Judaic kids, they were twins, his two little friends from school. One of them was they playing. He said, "Oh shit!" And so he turned and he looked at me because I'm sitting there, right? And he's like, "Dad," like, but he whispered, he said, "Dad, he just cursed." And then the Judaic kid's father's standing right there. So he looks over, he looked down, he's like, I mean, like, so I'm like, yo, E, we spoke about this. But what my son thing was, is that I told him, you know what I'm saying, not to do it in the public for now. You know what I'm saying? To do it, he can do it around me because he's not going to be able to explain himself correctly if someone asks him, why is he using such words and such things? That's my only reason why you use it till a certain age. You understand what I'm saying? Because after a certain time, you can explain it to something, you can't tell you nothing. You see what I'm talking about? So it's a hypocrisy in those nonsenses. So when that happened, that was the perfect moment. You know what I'm saying? So later on after that, I had to break it down to him even more further. I'm like, listen, those Judaic kids right there, because that I don't get into my children's specifics of where they go to and that, but it's a very expensive school that he has scholarship for, where he's a very minority. These are the type of schools they want you, and they have a program for you to be in there from since elementary to the mid school to high school to the college and all the way to your PhD, and you graduate all decorated with that school, and you represent them as an alumni with those colors, and you represent that all the way. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So he's in one of those places. Understand me? Right? Where it's something I couldn't have afford if it was 10 of me right now. Okay, so let's go. And I spoke to him. I said, listen, after we left, I said, the power, the level of life of realness that his father and their family deal with, cuss words, is nothing. It's a joke. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they got more important things to teach their kids to be worried about teaching them about cussing or coming down on them about cussing. Like, what? Understand this business that I got for the family to pick up that I want you to. If you got that, I'm good. Pick up on those concepts. Right? So the teaching, and I'm saying that to say, look how Trump handles his speeches. Almost every speech he got a cuss. He say at least one cuss word. Because it's a point. He's making a point, breaking that. And I'm telling you, I ain't into no political nothing. If you want, don't analyze what's in front of you. Because you got to deal with it. So what we going to play about? I don't play with myself. I don't even like for my ass to be that much. You understand what I'm saying? It got to be a serious growth to certain things. You know what I'm saying? I ain't into playing with myself. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Right? So saying that to say this, let me get into these other group of people that had something to say. I'm gonna come because, like I said, the foolery. But we in the perspective right now.
50 Cent, he decided to post his photo with Bobert, which I'm like, So first of all, again, to your point, here's a photo of 50 Cent all smiling with Congressman Steve Scalise, Republican Majority Leader, Louisiana. He puts boom. He puts that. Then here's the photo. Lauren Boebert, Colorado Republican, making the White House look good. That's what 50 Cent posted about her. And then Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, my fellow Shreveport friend, said he is happy to see me making things happen, creating lots of jobs. Go ahead, Lauren.
First of all, just look at the intro and how they started. And what the other dude in the Dashinki, you know what I'm saying? He about to catch a whole heart attack. He about to lose his whole lungs. Let's go.
50 Cent, he decided to post his photo with Bobert, which I'm like, So first of all, again, to your point, here's a photo of 50 Cent all smiling with Congressman Steve Scalise, Republican Majority Leader, Louisiana. He puts boom. He puts that. Then here's the photo. Lauren Boebert, Colorado Republican, making the White House look good. That's what 50 Cent posted about her. And then Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, my fellow Shreveport friend, said he is happy to see me making things happen, creating lots of jobs. Go ahead, Lauren.
Yeah, so as you can see from that photo array that you just put together, he met with a bunch of members, Democrat and Republican, right? So you've got to be, of course, sophisticated about what is likely to happen when you are trying to advocate for an issue and you're black in this country and you meet with a bunch of Republicans who clearly don't care about that issue. And I asked him at the press conference, and Ben Crump answered, what exactly did you guys talk about with the speaker when it came to black economic empowerment? What exactly did the speaker have to say about that? And I take it from Ben's answer that the answer was pretty much nothing. Okay, so there's that issue. The other thing is, and it kind of makes me think something Reese said about, the way that the White House packages their information. I mean, we do have to remember that we live in an era where the media is completely changing into something else. Their business model is failing, and their desperation to get traffic and to get people paying attention is wrapped up in the fact that, they are giving us things that are not important because they know that drives traffic. So when the administration puts out important information, the struggle becomes getting this version of the media to actually broadcast it, which I think is a really big struggle that is not necessarily their fault, even though, yes, they could do better, certainly, with the short-term information platforms like TikTok and Instagram. I'm totally in agreement with that. But one of the things that I keep seeing with this media, particularly these bigger platforms, the Post, the New York Times, et cetera, they're not necessarily interested in anything that doesn't drive traffic. And so there's a collision between important information and driving traffic. And when they become less interested in important information, then the community is not served very well. No community is served very well. And that has become a massive, massive problem. Yep. A massive problem that I don't know that anybody has the answer to right now.
When COVID happened, poor people were dying at a rate already of 800 people a day. Before COVID, if you went to a funeral every single day, it would take you 600 years to attend all the funerals of the people who will die from the ravages of policy violence, poverty, and low wages in America in just 1 year. It would take you 2 years and 19 days to go to all of the funerals of the people that will die today, and oftentimes silence. Nobody talks about this political genocide, but we are determined today to remember their death and be a resurrection of voting power and voice power like never before.
Economic justice and saving this democracy are deeply connected. We, as a nation, must listen to the demands of the poor, who are pushing and will continue to push political candidates and elected leaders to lift from the bottom so that everybody can rise.
We are the poor, the marginalized, and the underpaid. And we are taking one step forward to say that everybody has a right to live.
Poverty is not the fault of those who are impoverished. It is caused by those who make the policy.
There are over 135 million poor and low-wage, low-income people in this nation. The biggest block of potential voters by far is low-income, low-wage voters.
I can't afford medicine. Sometimes I have to skip because of the cost.
The farm worker community is tired of the violence imposed upon us by greed, exclusion, and denial of basic human rights.
Those folk that represented by that casket, poor and low-wage workers who are the most moral people in this country because they go to work every day believing, even though going to work is hazardous to their health.
I'm tired of working 70 to 80 hours a week and still not have money for the necessity of bills. I'm tired of getting sick and not being able to go see the doctor. Having to make a choice to pay between rent or the light bill or food or clothes.
You cannot claim to care about families and a culture of life and then do everything in your power to rob people of equal access to resources and to force them to live in poverty.
Leadership of both parties had waged war on poor people and low-wage workers.
And this government has treated people experiencing poverty, including their military families, with disdainful, deliberate, malicious neglect.
So the truth is that my son died from poverty.
We refuse to accept poverty as the fourth leading cause of death.
The fourth leading cause of death in this, the richest country in the world.
We march today for our children and the generations to come.
And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
We will voice our demands and register our vote.
When we stand up and when we stand together, things change.
There is the electorate that is, and then there is the electorate that should be.
34 million eligible poor and low-income voters did not vote in 2016. If just 20% of those voters in swing state were mobilized around an agenda, they could change the political outcome of every election. So we're launching the most massive voter mobilization and turnout campaign in history of poor and low-wage voters, allies, and religious leaders.
People are dying, but we know it doesn't have to be this way. And so we are calling on everyone to join us in this Poor People's Campaign, a national call for more revival.
We are here, we will be seen, we will be heard, and our power will be felt. We don't need to be an insurrection. We are a resurrection that will be felt across this country. Are you ready? 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 We are a resurrection, and we are ready. And we won't.
All right. So there's a reason why I let the whole thing of that play out, because that was part of the Roland Martin show. And part of his take, it's an excerpt from his show that they posted or whatever. And first of all, they went from, because that was intentional, they went from the narrative of 50 Cent approaching Washington, D.C. in the White House. Supposedly because I guess he's appealing to the Republicans more. But even though there's a Democrat in there right now, and you're going to have a conversation from a man who's coming to elevate the people talking about business, and at least look where I came from. They want to talk about poor. He's changing the narrative from business because what they're trying to say is that, 50 Cent is not going to go there. He doesn't know what to do to get the right bills passed, which is going to be what? This poor bill to pass certain things for us. And like that, this is why Rosenberg and them is like, he's on a selfish mission. It's because y'all want him to go on that stance, be poor. Y'all want him to be in the streets. You see what happened right there? That's the spinoff and the runoff when I say that if we're not able to be analytical and be critical about that, no matter how much we don't like it and how nice it might not look, we will never get to the point we got to go to. So let me take it here. What they really doing when they show that piece of that end clip and what goes on with Roland Martin and them civil rights movement, them W.E. Du Bois type people, is that Martin Luther King said, he led the people into a burning building. But when he realized it was too late, I played a clip the other day. What's his name is breaking it down. Can't remember his name right now. And because Martin realized that, and what he realized was economics. And so there was a saying within a certain, pro-black community that, one of the reasons why, the main reason why he got dust off was because he was about to change his narrative and change his narrative from, the civil rights to, economics for the poor, justice for the poor, for everyone, for the black and white. And, they were going to be scared about that because when he do that, it's going to be the poor blacks and the poor whites coming together now and all that. And that's going to be even more of a threat. And that was one of the main reasons for his assassination. So now when you look at the same narrative, what they doing, they try to pick up that baton. But what they doing, they still coming with it, like I said, on that same old preaching, pastoring type of, they're bending down on their knees, begging. What's the quote he said? We will be seen, we will be heard, and the power will be felt. What power? Walking up and down, picking and holding a coffin. And let me tell you this too, straight off the bat. I don't get into comparing or getting to no kind of union with no Caucasian about economics and poverty. I'm not doing that. I don't need no votes or none of that. They handle that on their side, because our disposition on that and how we came into economics, whether it's in this country or in the Caribbean, let me tell you something. That's not no conversation. This is the reason why, even as much as they have certain kind of interracial marriages and so forth, them Caucasian women and men on a majority level ain't getting into no marriages with us because they understand our economical disposition and what is the setup across the globe. So let me continue with this. We will be seen, we will be heard, and our power will be felt. We don't need to be an insurrection. We will be a resurrection. You know what? Let me see. To give you what they're gonna say is the meaning of insurrection. All right, let me see. A violent uprising against an authority or government. So right away, it's just passive. We will not be uprising. This is the Martin Luther. We're going to take the slaps, the box, the holes down. This is what you're trying to say today. And this whole thing about, going and representing the collective, let me tell you something right now. Get that nonsense out the way. Get that nonsense out the way. Jay-Z would not be in a position to do some of the things that he was able to do if he did not have a certain kind of tunnel, self-destiny preservation and vision for himself. So when Jay-Z goes to see Obama and certain stuff and they doing that, that's not business. So you saw their faces when he took a picture with this person, right? This is the nonsense that they've gotten us into. Look what this political person, what? Talking about what has the Republicans ever done? What has any one of them have really done for you except y'all been there begging to see what they can do for you? What is it called? An amendment? They're waiting for amendment because it's amen. What did amen meant? Or can amen mend what's going on? Well, until y'all get to the right knowledge of amen and amen and get up on that comedic knowledge and stuff like that, maybe y'all gonna start seeing it from a different way, and it's not about being on your knees and begging for nothing. What kind of disclaimer is that I'm poor? Even if I'm poor, I'm not even trying to get my mind into that mind frame to be out there like, oh, I'm poor and I'm thinking for the poor and so now they got Caucasians with them and this and that, and now it's like, oh, you see that? What? They don't even be in our neighborhoods. I mean, except for the gentrification. And once they gentrify enough and seal up enough little parts and certain and push out whatever, then that's a wrap. In certain of these places in Brooklyn later on, and trust me, ain't none of us gonna be up in there like one speck or two. right? But they're in their own little places. So when you talk about what are the Republicans doing and this and that and all this nonsense about who you as an African descendant in the United States of America, you should not be concerned about no goddamn political party unless you're just checking out what's the best situation that applies to yourself with that. And if you are not a damn business or some kind of entity, let me tell you something. You just keep on grinding and do what you got to do and figure out what the laws and whatever they're doing and how to go around it and how to avoid certain nonsense. But the ones who are in position should take advantage of those positions. Who else should? And then you're going to complain, well, what did we get? We didn't get nothing because you didn't go and you didn't have nothing to put on the table. From the speeches I watched with Donald Trump, right? Because like I said, we're going through this here this week. I didn't felt like doing with him today specifically. But one of the speeches I watched where he was breaking down his deals with Mexico and the one with France. And I just thought about something. I think the current president of Mexico, I think it's a woman the other day, and she is Jewish. Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna check that back another time. But there's some kind of Judaic official that was appointed in a high position in Mexico. But anyway, so he's talking about his business proposition and how I negotiate. That's what he's trying to. So he's like, hey, check this out. You know what I'm saying? To the dude from France. And this is what I'm saying, because he's talking about the immigration situation. And then at the same time, he's also spoke about France, the European situation. Still talking about business. And basically what it is like, he's like, yo, it's something for something or nothing for nothing. Right? And everybody knows he's supposed to be a businessman. So regardless if this person is this and that, how many stores y'all going to? You think they care about you? The Chinese store, oh, they love you. The Italian restaurants, oh yeah, they love you. The pizza man and this and that, they love you. You know what I mean? The Greek this, the Thai restaurant, the whatever other ethnic places, cuisines y'all going to, oh, they love you. Or businesses or something. Huh? They just want the money. They don't care. And this is why when there's a thing about the Caucasian, they don't talk about politics like that. Well, what's your party? Oh, what? Why is that important? What do you focus on? What are you doing? What's your strategy? I got mine. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be Republican today, and next year I go Democrat, depending on what's on the table and what I need to do with my business. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that goes. I just see it's over the hour. I'm approaching because I don't like to make these things very long. So I'm approaching the hour and 15-minute period. So I'm getting ready to, close it down for today. You know what I'm saying? And, they were even talking about organizing the largest voting mobilization you ever see in history. Let me give you this quick story about this voting thing. This is why even with the Trump thing, I don't say nothing about it when they talk about that voting thing, but let me tell you what I do know. And so you could tell from what I say, what I think about the perspective and the possibilities. And what I'm saying too is they acting like the Bushes ain't did it and other people in, in this country didn't do. Like what he's doing is he's pointing it out and saying something in a blatant term like other people before they say they stole the election from me. Only difference is that it got active. It got active. And so the actions is what made it into a situation. And what happened behind the actions. Right? But the largest voting, I'm there at this job I used to have. And so they're doing the votes for the city at this particular place for city and state officials. So they have 2 police officers just watching, or it's 1. That day they have 1. And but most of the times they have two. It's there to make sure, you know, whatever. People there, I guess, to make sure nobody steals the voting thing, nobody messing with it. And so when the voting stuff was finished, they started to look for the cat. And then they couldn't find him. And so it was like this big stick because they realized that the officer dipped. He left. And I think it had something to do with his relief or something. And I don't know what it was, but he got mad. And I guess he left. And so they contacted the office and all that. And so then they sent for, you know, the chief or whoever was in charge, the supervisor, whatever, that particular squad or however it goes. So he came himself and two other individuals, and they'll see he's talking to the lady that runs the voting thing now. And he's like, you know, apologize about it and everything like that. And so he's like, oh, y'all still got the bag? And she's like, yeah, they're fine. You know, nothing happened. Nobody touched them, this, that, whatever. So he's like, okay, whatever. And he's like, all right. So they took the bags with the votes, the police. And then they put them in the back of the police car. And then so I found out, like, so what is the procedure with this? And so he was like, oh, you know, we take it to the precinct. And then from the precinct, they come, whoever it is, come and pick it up. Let me tell you something. Common sense is a mother. Now, I'm not talking about nothing I read somewhere. I'm talking about what I've seen. And once I witnessed that, and that was 2 years before or a couple of years before that Trump situation even happened. So when it happened, I was like, interesting. And I'm still not naive knowing to what happened before, like I said, with prior presidents. But for it to be spoken and being highlighted to that level, I'm like, I see, because what could even possibly have happened from the space of time that that officer left? I mean, we're talking about the connections of who's in what, because Democrats and Republicans. So what you got? You got Democratic police too, and you got Republican police too, huh? Because if you got politicians, Democrat, then you got it in them too. So if you had a Republican, some Republican offices or Democrat offices watching the opposite political party, and they would think, and this was like, yo, disappear, or something, this and that, or yo, you see that bag when you go into the, you know what I'm saying, take out such and such. But like, who monitors them cats? Like, what's the follow-up behind the bag to the station? And what even happens at the station? Like, what are you talking about? We're human beings. But first of all, that's the craziness with how they even have us thinking about what they talking about is a democratic system. And this is the thing where you go vote, and the way that you go vote is just like combat, and it's like fighting, it's like sports. You go in the ring and you battle it out, and the last one, who left standing? Whoever leaves standing. What? That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? The traditional African concept, the things that we have to get to. Yes, we have to deal with these people in these times. This is why 50 Cent is doing what he's doing. I'm saying yes, even though I have a perspective of, I don't respect none of their laws or anything that they have constructed, because it has a completely zigzag aspect to it. Everything is a catch. You know what I'm saying? You do credit is this and that percentage, just like stuff out of the air. Like everything is just, you know what I'm saying? Like something with these people. And you know this. You understand what I'm saying? So unless you feel that you can't do better, and come in, and especially if you're talking about history and time, then you don't know your history. And you don't know what you're capable of. And that you have even gave them the blueprint to laws and what it means to have an organized government and system is what they came and saw Kemet in Egypt. And it's the same thing what happened in even Kemet in Egypt. It happened first with us. We even taught these people the division in a funny way. I can't even remember what his Kemet name right now, and I ain't got time for all of that. Right? Came to power in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, our land before anybody was in it. And he rose to power, and there's certain things that he didn't like and he wanted to change, but because of our high value of the spiritual organization, this is why the church became so powerful for us to organize. Because of that, because within the spiritual order, that is where our government systems and stuff came from. because it's one that dealt with the elders, putting the elders in a position, the different elders, and they sit down as legislature. Then you go to different ages and so forth, and you sit down and reason as a community with the different elders and the different other ages and so forth, and y'all come to collective decisions about the community. It's not no separate, I have a decision, I have my plan about the village, I have my plan about the village, and what kind of what? And so if you don't have that, just imagine if that was an African concept. We would have never had no villages. We would have already burned down our villages already and killed each other. Because we'd have been like, we had to go against each other. That wasn't our system. Our system is collective. This is why Dr. Clark said we have what you call the pure democracy, if you want to put it under a microscope, and true social system, not them socialism and Karl Marx and all this nonsense that they got in the so-called intellectual schools of nonsense. Everything has failed for the most part. We're just, you got trinkets and amenities and little gadgets and things that fancy you like a kid to play with, distractions from the real stuff that's going on that the adults dealing with. Because if you create an economical system and you're supposed to be so well at this thing here, you had it figured out. Why is it there's even something that's called poverty to the level where it is? Because if you create an economical system, it's supposed to be the thing that thrives, because what happened was this. You had food, you had certain things that started with food and stuff like that. That you say, oh, how are we going to gold and all this stuff, put a value. We were walking around with things that's too heavy, according to their story. And so let's create these lighter objects and so forth that we could say this is the value for that and that's the value for this. There ain't no shortage of food. So why is there a shortage of economics for it? Why is there even a problem with it? There's no shortage of wood and bricks and cement, of natural resources. So why is there a shortage of the economics to have to deal with it? If this is what you created and say, hey, this is the village. Listen, imagine you got a little bit. Listen, we got this system. We just want to create to make things flow a little better so we know what we're doing and certain stuff. And the next thing you know, in your little village, this person can't get this, they can't get that. This person's starving. Y'all start walking across. This person, he on the floor. I got no money, nothing like that. And you're like, oh man, but too bad for you. You're gonna just die right there. And you walk. Just think that in the African setting, and you walking past them in the village, and this is the way the village goes. Then that's a failed economical system. I mean, it's intellectually out of whack. Seriously. This is why when he goes up there, he's like this. And then when it comes on to the Guyanese community and all them things, in the Caribbean, oh man, the Caribbean people, this party, they're getting violent, murders, all because of this whole, the stadium, the gladiators, face off. That's what they want. When it comes down to the final election, debate. Not reason, debate. And then the way that they set up the climate for what in which you're supposed to be thinking is almost just like the preaching the pastor perspective in a little way too. We're like, you got so much other things that's important to your life. Like nobody gives two damns about no immigration, like deal with all that. But what else can we talk about? But what they do, they just narrow out. These are the issues that people are concerned about. And these are, and I'm saying, so this is a little chess spotting. So what do you think? It's a game. It's a chess making move based on this and based on that. You can't run for presidency and certain stuff unless you got economics. You can't even run for presidency today unless you're a millionaire and multi times that in support. So what kind of situation we talking about? If for the president to be nominated into this office and most high power position, you need a lot of money. So we talking about money. So why you ain't not going to be dealing with business and going to them dealing with business regardless of whose side and who's what and what? You got to get off this foolishness. I ain't got time for that. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's blessed love. You know what I mean? We're trying to make sure that, I kind of miss a little bit of thing in my notes, And then like one of them females on Roland Martin was talking about, she's in agreement with the government getting rid of TikTok and Instagram and these short, non-thinking. And that's the thing. Because she had a problem with 50 Cent's being accepted as a person to go to the, because he's representing us. No, then if you don't think he represents you, then he don't represent you. Then you stay on the sidelines. If you ain't in there nothing concerned, you're not part of his movement, his organization, you ain't. So why don't you, who's the person that you know that's your right hand, that's personal with you, that got this and that, they got their business together, it's gonna go up there, that y'all gonna put on there and clap to and like and support, then do that. And then she went as far as to talk about, you know, because of that, that is to be blamed for the TikTok and the Instagram because 50 Cent picked up traction from social media is what she's learned from the promoting of certain, and it's the social media platform that gave him that edge to even be in that position and for the edge for it to turn out to be the way it is through mass appeal. And that make you want to think because people are just short-term thinkers and all this kind of this and that. But y'all still y'all long-term thinking channel and whatever y'all on. How about that? Y'all have said, I have plans of going independent and you know what I'm saying, having your own website and certain stuff from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? Possible server and all that. I ain't got nothing to hide, all that. But in the meantime, would I not still utilize YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and any other social platform and any, you know, that has to do with the promoting and marketing or whatever you do, the linking and it ultimately leads to the building of your business and your brand? Why would you not? Why would you not? So these are the things, the narrative that's out here. Very important. You know what I'm saying? I think for me to have my voice and say what I got to say, you know what I'm saying? Y'all like what's going on. Make sure y'all share it. You know, check it out at on Instagram at DJ Shaka Double. You know what I'm saying? YouTube is at Reasoning Uncensored, right? On Facebook. What is it on Facebook? It's something. I can't even see right now. It should be Delroy, LaRoc, or Shaka Double. All right. So blessed love. I see my camera already start to want to glitch and stuff. Blessed love, guidance, and y'all going out, y'all coming in. You know what I'm saying? Give thanks for life. I hope that all is as well as it could be with you, yours, and your loved ones, and wherever you are in your geographical location. I hope this is as harmonious as it could be for you and your loved ones in your closest circle. And if things end up to where it's at right now, I hope it get better at least by the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And definitely, if you can't get the thing solved, try to put it down and pick it back up later. Don't hurt your back on it if you can. Understand? Understand. Let me go into this commercial and then I'm going to close it out. And that's what it's going to be for today, family. All right, family, that's it. That's it. Gonna play my closing video. Catch y'all tomorrow morning. All right, 8 o'clock. What is it? 8 o'clock? Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying, in my zone. You know, so it's 8 o'clock to about 9:30. You know, that's usually the vibration. So it's 9:30 right now. You know what I'm saying? Enough respect.
This Delroy LaRoc is the one and only Shaka double. Don't forget to tune into Reasoning Uncensored, 8 to 10 a.m. Monday to Friday on all social media platforms. All of them.
Is Reasoning Uncensored. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember. Is Reasoning Uncensored. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember. I'm a baby in a stroller. In due time, I definitely know ya. As you talking, the baby grow up, out the diaper, out the